10 years ago, I wrote this book. It's about the kind of company I wanted to create, and that was going to be a storytelling agency and production company. And I wrote that, and then I wrote a bunch of other pages about what the company would be like, the kind of work I and eventually we would do, and really, and like a lot of the values and just ways that I thought it would be good to operate. And the reason I wrote this is because I had seen another agency started by doing exactly this. They wrote a book about what they wanted to become. And I thought, well, if it worked for them, then maybe it could work for me. So I did this. And that was 10 years ago in 2014, and I was 22 at the time. And, I obviously didn't know how to go from an idea to a real business, especially an agency of any kind of size. So what I did was I went and worked at other advertising agencies in New York and then elsewhere too, where I wanted to go because I thought I could learn the business, how they made money, and how to work at like that kind of high level. And while I've learned a lot in all of those experiences the last 9 years of doing it, I haven't really been fulfilled. I have tried, working as a project manager. I've transitioned into being a strategist, and I did new business for a while. And I thought that I would eventually find something that was right for me inside of an existing agency. But there's always been something in my mind of like, this is just not right. It's not the right thing for me. And what I keep coming back to is that I wanted to make movies when I was growing up. I wanted to be a director, and I didn't know how to do that. So I thought partly, going to an advertising agency would help me get there because it's creative, it's content, and all the things surrounding a movie, you could do that through advertising as long as you're in the right realm of it. But I never got into the right realm of it. So I haven't done the things that I wanted to do. And when I think about what that is, I always come back to what I wrote in this book. I want to, it's a storytelling agency and production company. I want to tell people stories and I want to create content. And I think that's just what I need to do. I can't keep thinking that I'm going to find it anywhere else. I can't think that someone's going to give it to me or give me that opportunity because it's just it won't happen. Certainly if I don't talk about it. If no one knows about it other than me, it's just not going to be a thing. So that's what this is. I don't have a name for this. I definitely want it to be a series where it's me figuring out how to make this idea that I had 10 years ago into a reality, finally. And I think that's part of the challenge I had was everything I saw online was a lot of people talking about hacks and shortcuts and how to achieve an outcome without doing the work. I think that's been kind of the dialogue the last 10 years of startups and everything. It's like it just somehow happens overnight, or you don't have to follow the traditional path. And what I've come to realize is that I think you do. I think you have to go through every step and you have to achieve each level of the game before you've earned the opportunity to work at the next level. And I wish I'd known that sooner. I guess it's okay that I haven't, but I think that is what has made it so I haven't executed on this yet. I've tried a few times, I've freelanced here and there throughout the last 9 years too, and I thought maybe that would kind of springboard me into the right thing, but it hasn't. And it hasn't because I thought, oh, this is a shortcut and a way around the system to where I can make it happen on a way that's unique to me. But I think you just need to go through and work through everything the way that you have to, or the way that's not expected, but there are certain things that have to happen in order to keep progressing. And so that's what this is for me. It's a way to document just my process and how I'm going to go about this, but also hopefully it's a resource for other people like you who might want to do something similar, because I never had it and I wish I did. Just someone there saying, this is the reality of wanting to do something like this. Here's what you have to do. Here's what you have to pay attention to. And even if the work isn't fun at certain times, it's okay, because it'll pay off eventually. And that's what I've realized now. I haven't done the work necessarily, but I am committing to the path of doing it, figuring it out, and sharing what I've learned. So this is going to be, like I said, a series of sorts where I'm talking about that, and we'll get into what that is in future episodes, I guess. But again, it comes back to being a storytelling agency and production company. So that's telling stories and creating content. The agency part of it, do I want it to be a big agency with a bunch of people? Probably not anymore, but I do think there's a future in which it's me and a handful of, incredible teammates creating and making great work. So that's what this is. That's what I am putting out into the world. So it's not just an idea anymore. It's at least somewhat of a reality. Or it's still an idea, but I'm putting it out in the world to make it an actual reality. So if you're into this, let me know. And I'm excited about where this is finally going, because I've held on to this for too long to not do anything about it.